Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke with only poison type Pokemon in Black 2 version. Can we do it? Let's find out. First, to quickly explain the rules, we have the regular Nuzlocke rules of if a Pokemon faints, it can't be used in battle again, and we can only catch the very first Pokemon we encounter in each area, assuming it's a poison type to fit with the monotype challenge, and if there's no poison types in that area, then we get no encounter. For the hardcore add-ons, we can't use any healing items in battle. We have to play on set battle style, meaning we can't switch after knocking out a Pokemon for free, and we have to adhere to a level cap, which is whatever the gym leader's highest level Pokemon is before entering the gym. Black 2 has a decent amount of poison type Pokemon we can use, like Scolipede, Amoonguss, Weezing, Toxicroak, and a couple of others. Since we don't get to see our very first poison type encounter in this game until after the first gym, we replaced our starter Pokemon with a Gulpin to ensure that we have a poison Pokemon to start off with. You can't normally obtain Gulpin in Black and White 2, but I streamed this run live on Twitch, which you should also follow in the description if you also want to see these runs live, and the Twitch chat voted for the starter to be Gulpin. This video was also inspired by Flygon HG, who was the first person I ever saw do these type lock challenge runs consistently, and is largely responsible for these types of videos even existing. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to support the channel, and let's see if we can beat Pokemon Black 2 with only poison type Pokemon. Starting off, I name ourselves C, leave our rival's name as Hugh, and then pick up our starter Gulpin and name it Stomach. It has Pound and learns Yawn at level 6, so this should be pretty good in the early game. Things go pretty smoothly until we get to the PaPaSea Ranch and have this very close encounter with this trainer's Mareep. I already took some damage, so I go for Yawn when the Mareep comes in to buy us some time when it's asleep, and then I get paralyzed from its static ability. I then spam Pounds, but the Mareep is only asleep for a single turn, and then I get full parried. It knocks us down to only 4 HP, and I get full parried again, meaning if it hits us with Tackle, we lose the run already. For some reason, the Mareep just goes for Growl, and we connect on the following turn to KO it. I then get close to the level cap of level 13 for Cheren's normal type gym and prepare to challenge him. I figure with Yawn at our disposal and possibly Poison Gas, which we recently learned, we should be pretty good here. The first junior trainer goes down pretty easily, then the second has 2 Pokemon. We knock out the Lillipup with only 30 HP remaining, and then the Patrat does 12 damage to us, which is a lot more than I expected. I start getting flashbacks to that Mareep already that we just faced like 20 minutes ago, and hope that the Patrat just goes for non-damaging moves here, but no, it knocks us out, meaning we lost our first attempt in this Hardcore Nuzlocke to a junior trainer in the gym. There isn't really much else we can do to plan for this, since we don't have access to any other Pokemon or any other TMs or HMs to help us out this early in the game. So on the second attempt, I lay waste to that Mareep much easier than the first time, and go right back into Cheren's gym once getting close to the level cap. This time the second junior trainer's Lillipup goes for more status moves, but we knock it out with 36 HP remaining instead of 30. On the Patrat, I just spam Pound and get a bit fortunate where Patrat also goes for more status moves this time around, allowing us to actually beat this junior trainer. We're nearly at level 14 at this point too, meaning if we can defeat Cheren's lead Pokemon, we should level up to 14, which might help us. On his lead Pokemon Patrat, I just go for Yawn right away as it goes for Workup, then I spam some Pounds. It goes for Workup again before falling asleep, and then we get a critical hit while it's asleep to force out Cheren's potion and knock the Patrat into the orange HP range before it finally wakes up again. We unfortunately don't KO it on the following turn since it lives with like 1 HP and puts us to only 14 HP before his last Pokemon, Lillipup, comes in. Our chances of winning here seem pretty slim, especially since Lillipup can just go for a Workup and then an offensive move, or possibly just 2 offensive moves in a row to knock us out. But we did level up to 14 here, and learn Sludge, which is much stronger than Pound for Gulpin. I go for Sludge as the Lillipup goes for Workup, and we luckily get the poison. Lillipup has Vital Spirit as its ability, so we couldn't go for Yawn to put it asleep, and getting the poison was very lucky. It then goes for Tackle, and I thought it was time to call an ambulance and go on to the next attempt, but psych, the ambulance is for you, Cheren, since we live on 1 HP, get a critical hit with Sludge, and knock out the Lillipup. This was a whole new level of plot armor for us since we needed insane luck for this to happen, and it worked out. I didn't even know that we were going to learn Sludge at level 14, and without it, we probably would have lost. Hopefully our luck continues, since my skill for these hardcore challenges is a bit lacking to say the least. But now we can finally catch our first Pokemon in Venipede, which chat wanted me to name Vespa, then make it into Verbank City, where we can also catch a Koffing that I named Tank in all capital letters. Having 3 Pokemon now makes me feel so much safer since we finally have options. And now we have to prepare for Roxy's gym, which coincidentally is a poison type gym with the level cap of level 18. After defeating the junior trainers and getting to the level cap, I head in to fight Roxy with my strategy of clicking strong moves with Koffing. It's our bulkiest and strongest Pokemon right now in terms of raw stats, and we have this honor battle against her lead Koffing, which is kinda cool. I start off by spamming Assurance, a physical dark type move with 50 base power, thinking it was our best option for these poison type foes. Turns out I was wrong, and after running some damage calcs, I see that Sludge is stronger even though it's resisted. I then Sludge her after she heals, then get a lucky crit on the following turn to knock out her Koffing. Last up is her Whirlipede, which she has at an illegal level because it doesn't evolve until level 22, and this battle was a bit close until I get another lucky critical hit, which saved us in that battle, since if that battle lasted 1 turn longer, we probably would have lost our Koffing. With the second gym badge in hand, we can now sail to Castalia City and enter the sewers for another encounter, which will either be a Grimer or Zubat. Zubat is the superior option in my opinion because we can technically get a Crobat before the next gym fight against Burgh, and I think Crobat's one of the strongest possible Pokemon we can obtain in this game, and luckily we do encounter a Zubat first, which I caught and named Fangs. I then head north to catch our next encounter, which is a Trubbish, and I named it Chaz because on the day that I streamed this part of the Hardcore Nuzlocke, it was one of my viewers named Chaz's birthday, and he wanted me to name the Trubbish after him. I then learned, thanks to chat, that we can increase happiness just by walking around, and we can call Bianca to see our happiness levels, so I get Zubat's happiness real high by just running around in circles for like a half hour, evolve it into Golbat, and then evolve it again into Crobat with its max happiness. This will be huge for us since it isn't weak to ground, and it's a pretty fast Pokemon, and a lot of poison type Pokemon tend to be pretty slow. Burgh's gym is also a bug type gym, so aside from possible issues from his part rock type Pokemon Dwebble, we should be alright with Crobat. Against Burgh, I lead with Fangs and spam Wing Attack, which one-shots his lead Sewaddle, and then looks to be a 4-shot, possibly a 3-shot if we're lucky, on his Dwebble. It goes for Smackdown and does similar damage to what we did to it, but then Rock Polishes on the following turn as we Wing Attack. I get it to about 1 HP and still have over half health, so I then get 2 Wing Attacks off as he Hyper Potions without doing any damage to us, and then it goes for a move and gets the biggest critical hit I have ever seen in my life and knocks out Crobat. I know damage rolls are a thing and all, and crits work differently in this game compared to newer Pokemon games, but considering it did 18 damage with the first attack on Smackdown, and then did 41 on the following turn, I was quite upset. We have had stellar luck regardless in this run though, and at least Koffing can come in to finish off the Dwebble pretty easily and then take care of Burgh's last Pokemon Levany in a few turns because it doesn't really have anything to hit us too hard. We have 3 gym badges now, which is great and all, but I lost to Crobat in the process, which is arguably the best possible Pokemon we could have caught in this Nuzlocke, and I lost it to a crit, which is really sad. It would have been great to use against Clay because he has a ground type gym, but now we have to focus on fighting Colress so we can get to the next town. His team isn't particularly strong or anything like that, but it does consist of 2 steel type Pokemon while I only have poison type Pokemon with mostly poison moves, which don't affect steel types. And the only other moves I have on our Pokemon right now are normal and dark moves, both of which steel resists in this game. I then check Serebii, Pokemon DB, Bulbapedia, and countless other websites for things we can use to fight Colress. I then find out we can get the TM for Rock Smash in Verbank City by defeating some of the Verbank Complex workers. The level cap is now 30 for Elisa's gym too, so I get Gulpin to level 26 where he hauls into Swalot and then teach it Rock Smash just for this one dumb Colress fight. We got paralyzed in this fight, but it really wasn't that hard since his Pokemon are all pretty weak. I also spent about 30 minutes trying to get this TM for just a 2-minute battle. Once in Nimbasa City, I battle all the trainers in the theme park, then begin to plan for Elesa. I was terrified of her Emolga until I realized it had no flying type move, so it couldn't type Trump Whirlipede at all. And then I realized that the real threat here was going to be getting paralyzed by her Flaffy or hit too hard by her Ace Zebstrika. I found out that we can get a Cherry Berry though to cure paralysis on the next route, so I go there for what I thought would be an easy trip because we only had to fight one ranger along the way, but no, we accidentally ran into this one trainer with a Sigilyph. It's a Psychic and Flying type Pokemon, which is horrible for us, and that really shows since I lose Coughing and Whirlipede to this random trainer. All this just for a Cherry Berry for one gym fight, better be worth it. Initially my plan for this fight was to give the berry to Swalot and just brute force Elesa with Sludge, kinda like what we did against Roxy with Coughing, but the damage calcs didn't really look too great with only 2 Pokemon left on our team as well. That was a bit risky. I checked to see if there's anything we can catch or anything else we can do from this point, and it turns out that there are wild Roselias in the nearby Lost Lorn Forest, so I go there and catch one. It took forever to finally encounter one, even though it's a relatively common Pokemon with a 15% encounter rate, but we ended up encountering 3 5% Heracrosses in that time, but once I finally catch the Roselia, I name it Rose and add it to the team. Since it resists electric, has Giga Drain, and doesn't have to worry about a flying type move from Emolga, I teach it Venoshock to give it more coverage options. Someone in chat also let me know that we can get an Eviolite in Castelia City, so I go back there to give it to Roselia and feel pretty confident heading into Elisa's gym fight, considering we just lost 2 Pokemon. This whole ordeal of pretty much just fighting Colress and preparing for Elesa took 2 hours between all of the damage calcs and running around. In the battle against her though, I lead with Swalot and her Emolga, predicting it will Volt Switch into Zebstrika as we Toxic it, then go for Venoshock to basically one-hit KO the Zebstrika. Zebstrika has Flame Charge, which can be really bad for Roselia, which is why I did this and didn't just lead with Roselia in the first place, but instead she goes into Flaffy and I miss the Toxic. This is basically the absolute worst case scenario that could have happened, but thanks to our Cherry Berry we're able to take out Flaffy with Stomach. Then I Toxic the incoming Emolga as she Volt Switches, but I miss Toxic again on the incoming Zebstrika. Since we missed 2 out of 3 90% accurate Toxics, I just spam Sludge on Zebstrika. We don't get full parried luckily, and our Pokemon keep going for Pursuit for some reason, which does little damage. At this point I also realized that getting the Cherry Berry might have been pointless since we still got paralyzed and lost 2 Pokemon in the deal and still broke through paralysis most turns. And once Swalot gets to a pretty low HP range, I risk a switch on a potential Pursuit, thankfully don't get hit by Pursuit, and I'm able to have Roselia tank hits from Emolga and then Giga Drain the Zebstrika. If this Zebstrika had Sap Sipper, this would have been terrible, but luckily the damage we heal from Giga Drain helps offset the damage Zebstrika is doing to us. I keep hammering away with Roselia though, and defeat Elesa to collect the 4th gym badge. This one was pretty rough, and so were some of these previous battles since we lost some Pokemon, but now we have to prepare for Clay and his ground type gym, which seem like it'll be the hardest gym fight for the entire game. With our team of only Swalot, Roselia, and Trubbish, I begin to think of how we could possibly beat Clay. Then I realize we have 2 unavoidable battles against Psychic-type Pokemon that could destroy us before we ever end up even reaching Clay. First, we have Heartbreaker Charles and his team of Arkin, Turtoga, and Sigilyph in a rotation battle. Thankfully, we aren't playing White 2 version, otherwise it'd be a triple battle in that game and not a rotation battle. I lost a Nuzlocke to a Sigilyph before, and even lost 2 Pokemon in this run to a Sigilyph earlier, so I know they don't mess around. First, I try to teach Thief to Trubbish in order to steal black sludges from Grimers in the Castelia sewers, but that was just taking far too long, so I stopped. Grimer is only a 10% encounter right here, and they only have a 5% chance of even holding the black sludge, so getting one in the first place had very low odds. I then run some calcs and teach Return to Swalot since it has max happiness thanks to when we tried to get max happiness from Zubat, and hits all of Charles's Pokemon pretty decently. I spent about 45 minutes preparing for this, just for my strategy to be brute force with Swalot and potentially Roselia if I can sneak a hit on Turtoga. Turns out Charles just threw this battle by spamming pointless moves like Wide Guard, allowing Swalot to kill everything and then Trubbish to clean up the Arkin. That battle could have easily gone very south if his Sigilyph just went for psychic moves, but thankfully it didn't go for very many at all. Once in Driftvale though, I pick up the Expert Bell to help us do some more damage, then catch a Fungus on the following route which I named Kurt, and I also pick up the Shiny Stone on this route so we can evolve Roselia into Roserade. After careful deliberation, Shad and I realized it was best to evolve Roselia now and move the Eviolite it was holding to Fungus for Clay's gym, and with the level cap now being 33 for Clay, we can't even evolve Fungus yet, so it was definitely worth it, and the special attack boost Roserade gets on top of Roselia helps a lot with ground type Pokemon. We then have to take on this random Team Plasma member named Rude who has a Swoobat, but luckily there's a move tutor in this town to teach Swalot Ice Punch, and in the previous town we got 10 red shards from this random guy in the Pokemon Center, which is just enough to teach Ice Punch to Swalot since you need red shards for move tutors in this game. I then teach Ice Punch to Swalot and battle Rude of Team Plasma, but he leads with a Herdier that has Intimidate, which I forgot about. I'm able to take it out with above half HP, then the Swoobat goes for Imprison, which does nothing, and gets knocked down into the red from one Ice Punch even after Intimidate, then goes for Attract, but luckily we don't love this Swoobat and we break through to win this battle. That just leaves Clay's gym for Driftveil City, and although on paper a poison only team against a ground gym leader seems pretty bad, especially since we lost our Crobat and Coughing, the only two real poison types that aren't weak to ground, we still have Roserade to type trump ground types. With the Miracle Seed, it can do a ton of damage, but Excadrill is neutral to grass, meaning we need a better plan for it. The plan I came up for the Excadrill is to lead with Roserade in the battle and knock out Clay's lead 2 Pokemon being Sandslash and Krokorok with it, then switch into a Swalot holding an air balloon, which we also found in Driftveil City, to yawn it since I expected to go for Bulldoze on the turn we switch, and then Slash on the following turn to break our balloon before falling asleep. Then we can swap back into Roserade to knock it out in 4 or 5 turns. Roserade should be faster and it can take 1 Bulldoze, so it is risky, but probably the best option we have. The plan goes pretty well to start with Roserade knocking out Clay's first 2 Pokemon and still having full HP thanks to Giga Drain healing HP, but then on his Excadrill when I go into Swalot holding the air balloon, for some reason Clay goes for Slash instead, a weaker move, breaks the balloon, and gets a critical hit on top of it, meaning we can't stay in. Excadrill is much faster than Swalot, so staying in would just mean we lose Swalot, so we have to resort to letting Trubbish go down, so we can go back into Roserade, which is faster than Excadrill, and go for a Hail Mary Grass Whistle to put Excadrill to sleep. It's only 55 accurate, which is why I didn't just go for this in the first place since it was much more riskier than going for Yawn on Swalot with an air balloon, but luckily we outspeed, land the Grass Whistle, and Excadrill stays asleep enough turns for us to knock it out. This was incredibly lucky, and although we had to sacrifice our Trubbish for it, I definitely think it was worth it. Overall, our net luck, if that makes any sense, is definitely positive through this whole run. The only issue now is 2 of our 3 Pokemon are Grass type, and the next gym is a Flying type gym, and I don't know if there's any other Pokemon, moves, or items we can get between now and Skyla's gym. There's a few things we have to do in Driftveil before we leave that I forgot about, like take on a quick PWT tournament, which went by very quickly since we have a little bit of a level advantage, and then some more random Team Plasma stuff on their boat with the help of Cheren and Hugh. For the Mistralton Cave, I thought it would be a problem since there's a few trainers with sprinkled Steel type Pokemon all across, but we did get the TM for Bulldoze, which Swalot can learn, and hits a lot of these random Magnemites in here for 400% damage, making this cave pretty easy to get through. Our next big task now is to battle Skyla and her team of Swoobat, Skarmory, and Swanna, with the level cap being 39. Swoobat is the biggest threat, of course, being a part Psychic type Pokemon with the move Heart Stamp, but Skarmory and Swanna's bulk could easily be a problem too. I decide to farm up some more red shards in a nearby cave to go back to the move tutor to teach Swalot Thunder Punch to help out against Skarmory and especially that Swanna. There is one more encounter we can get before we fight Skyla though, which is on the route up north of this city, and that's a Seviper, which can be great if it has the Intimidate ability. When I finally encounter Seviper, I prepare to catch it, so I Ice Punch it, get a critical hit, then figure one more Ice Punch should put it low enough to be an easy catch, but instead I get a second crit in a row with Ice Punch and knock out the Seviper to fail the encounter. This eliminates any Intimidate strategy we could have possibly used for Skyla or anywhere else in the game, especially since there's only like 2 or 3 more Pokemon we could possibly catch before the end of this game, meaning our only real option now for Skyla is to use Swalot with Expert Belt and hope that we can hammer away enough damage against her Pokemon with elemental punches. As we approach the level cap of 39, Foongus evolves into a Moongus, which is nice but wouldn't really help too much for a flying type gym. When the fight against Skyla begins, she leads with her Swoobat on our Swalot. I go for Ice Punch, however Swoobat outspeeds and gets a flinch off of Heart Stamp. This is very bad for us since our Ice Punch does perfect damage to two-shot the Swoobat without forcing a heal or anything like that. But the extra damage from the flinch on turn 1 puts Swalot in the red as her Swanna comes in. We can't outspeed this, and my only other Pokemon on the team right now are grass types, meaning there isn't anything else we can do. Swalot just ends up falling since my only real choice here was to go for a Hail Mary Thunder Punch and hope somehow we outspeed or Swanna misses a hit or something like that. Then to add insult to injury, when I send out a Moongus, it lives a hit but misses a Toxic and then falls on the following turn, although to be fair, Toxic wouldn't have really been much help anyway, which is the best move we possibly could have went for. And then our last Pokemon, Rose, goes down to a single Air Slash, ending our poison-only run against a Swanna, of all things. I think we did fairly well even though we lost though, and to be honest, I was too frustrated with this outcome to bother resetting and going for another attempt, since at this point, it took about 2 weeks of playing to get here. I think this run is definitely possible without relying on any sort of crazy luck, especially if you keep around Crobat and Coughing, which we lost early on. I think it's pretty remarkable how we got through Clay being a ground type gym leader, 2 trainers before that which had strong psychic Pokemon, and then lost to a flying type gym leader, all because we really didn't have Crobat or Weezing or some other non-part grass type Pokemon to fall back on for Skyla's other 2 Pokemon. We did have some pretty insane luck to start off though, which I really can't complain about, with many clutch critical hits and lucky AI going for weird moves, but towards the end, our luck really didn't help us that much with the Heart Stamp flinch, Clay going for Slash over Bulldoze for no reason and getting a critical hit, foiling our weird air balloon strategy, losing the Seviper encounter to back-to-back critical hits, and then of course running into a random trainer who of course had a Sigilyph on their team and killed 2 of our Pokemon. I did have a ton of fun playing this though, especially with the help of Twitch chat since I streamed this live of course, so if you guys want to see these runs streamed live, you should check out my Twitch channel which will be linked below. I also want to pass this challenge along to you guys watching this video since I think this was a really fun one, especially for my first type-based Hardcore Nuzlocke since most of the Hardcore Nuzlockes I've done so far focused on Pokemon of a specific color. And if you want to make this even harder on yourself, you could switch the starter Pokemon from Swalot to Venipede since you can't normally obtain Swalot in Black and White 2, and Venipede is the first poison Pokemon you can encounter in this game, or possibly even replace it with some other poison type Pokemon of your choosing since there might be a better starter option than Swalot out there. I'm also now realizing that we weren't really too far off from catching a Scorpy in this run, which would have really helped for all of these pesky psychic Pokemon, as Scorpy evolves into Drapion, a part dark type Pokemon. Hopefully the next run we do, we can complete a run without wiping pretty late in the game, and I will of course be streaming that run live on Twitch. And if you want to see more videos like this, then be sure to subscribe, and also consider leaving a like since it really helps the channel and supports me. This isn't the end yet, so again, thank you all for watching, hope you have a good rest of your day, I'll see you all next time, and bye bye.